Okay guys, welcome to Module 1. In this module, our expert will be teaching you about campaign objectives and details. So get ready to take some notes and let's jump right in.
Okay, so here we are on the Twitter dashboard. We're going to come up here to Create Campaign. Click Start Over. And let's talk about these Twitter campaign goals. Now, campaign goals or objectives, you'll notice, are taking over advertising platforms. Google, AdWords, Facebook, and a bunch of other ones have chosen to create this step in their ad creation process where you can choose common campaign objectives, and then those guide you with hints and tailorizations throughout the ad creation process. We've already seen that with a few of the other big ones. Now we're seeing it with Twitter. And overall, I think it's definitely a good thing, certainly more user-friendly. If you've been doing some of these on your own, sort of ad hoc in the past, then you'll probably notice it's a little bit different now. So let's talk about app installs first. App installs is pretty simple. If you have a mobile app, if that's your business, and you want to get more people to install it on their phone, literally click a link on Twitter, and then that takes them to the App Store for your respective, OS, and then install your app. This is what you're going for. This is your campaign objective. The next one is followers. Now it says on and off Twitter here, but obviously what we're talking about is gauging your campaign success by the number of people who end up following your profile on Twitter. And that's pretty powerful, especially if in addition to your advertising, you also do a lot of organic promotion or organic content on Twitter, and you want to increase the range of that organic reach. Increasing your followers with paid ads is a good way to do that. And tweet engagements. This is a good one to go after if your primary concern is interaction with other Twitter users on Twitter. If you want people interacting with your brand when you tweet. So we're looking at retweets. We're looking at comments, likes, that sort of thing. Those will be what you're measuring the success of these campaigns by. Over here we've got promoted video views. That's pretty self-explanatory. Video, although it's not thought of as the primary thing on Twitter, since there's length restrictions and stuff, is still pretty powerful on Twitter, and video ads are a pretty significant and impactful way to get your message across. Website clicks or conversions. This is probably the most standard issue, meat and potatoes type of campaign goal. This covers sort of everything, especially things like lead generation, right? So you actually want people clicking away from Twitter and coming over to your web properties, namely, a landing page where you're collecting a lead, or if you're doing content marketing, maybe to a content piece with a retargeting pixel, or if you're selling something directly, sales pages, e-commerce stores, product listings, that sort of stuff. All that is going to come here, and my guess is somewhere around 60-70% of those of you who are watching this video are going to be relying on this one somewhat heavily. App re-engagements. So the app is already installed on their phone, and you want them to click on a Twitter ad that reminds them to log back in and use it. Okay, so if you're running some type of a video game app for iOS or Android, and this is a good way to get those people to log back into that app and play in that game with a nice, maybe a video ad or something. You actually see a lot of people doing this, a lot of companies doing this. What's that one? Clash of Clans is doing that type of thing with ads all the time. In-stream video views pre-roll. This sounds a lot like YouTube's in-stream video, and that's basically what it is. You're taking other people's content, you're taking existing content, and you're sticking your little video ad at the very beginning of it. It's going to be pretty short, but you get some pretty cool placement there that you wouldn't otherwise get. Awareness. This, you don't really care about the retweets. You don't really care about clicks to your website. You don't even really care about followers. What you want is your brand identity, literally your name, your logo, your identity in front of as many eyeballs as possible. Okay, so this is based on, impressions. Even if people are just swiping by and not really super conscious of the fact that they've just seen your brand, you're sort of building that subconscious top-of-mind awareness, and this is a good campaign for building that. So now let's go ahead and click on followers. Let's say that we're trying to build a follower campaign so that we can increase our organic reach without having to pay for ads on Twitter. All right, and how it works, this is a little explanation of how things work. You're going to promote your account to build an engaged audience. You're only paying for the followers you gain. So it doesn't matter what type of engagement you get on this post. We could get, 100 retweets and likes and comments and all that good stuff, clicks to our website, pretty much anything. And we're not being billed for any of that. So that's all just extra, That's all just gratis. What we're paying for is just people who click and follow our profile on Twitter. So this is pretty sweet if that's your primary goal. And you've got all the basic stuff here. You've got your campaign name. You've got a start date. You've got an optional end date. So let's talk about some reasons you might have an end date. Let's say you've got a sales quota coming up. An end date might be useful. In fact, an end date in conjunction with accelerated delivery, which will spend your budget faster and try to get your ad in front of more eyeballs in a more frequent and quick way. Those two things could work together quite well. If you've got a live event coming up, an actual physical live event that's happening on a specific day, well, obviously, that's got to end at some point, preferably a few days before the event, so that would be a good time to utilize an end date for your campaign, as well as accelerated delivery. A product launch where you've literally just got a 7-day window. That would make sense to have a start and an end date, and maybe even an accelerated delivery, okay? But most people are probably just going to let ads run evergreen, most brands, on Twitter, because it's a part of their actual, day-to-day life, their day-to-day advertising. Then we've got, daily budget. And then we've got total budget, which is optional. So if we want to spend, let's say, $25 per day, and sort of indefinitely, however, we want this particular campaign to run out after, let's say, $2,000, we can configure it in this manner. So after however many days, this will eventually grind to a halt when we hit our total budget, and then we can sort of stop and breathe and look back at the campaign to see how it performed and whether or not we want to change things up a little bit, start a new campaign, use a different approach. So that's pretty much it for campaign details. I'll set this back to standard. We're going to hit next up here, and that's going to bring us to the add groups page, and that's what we'll discuss in the next lesson.